Hi, Kaden and Ezra. Today we're going to be going over God's plan for animal homes. When God created the world, He created animals to help us and for us to enjoy. As we explore the world He created, we will discover God's unique plan for each animal, His home, His food, even His friends and enemies. Home is a nice place to think about. It is a safe place to stay at night, and it keeps us safe during stormy weather. What is your home made of? Probably bricks. Have you ever wondered why whales and elephants do not live in the same kind of home? God designed natural homes for animals to live in called habitats. When God made each habitat, He gave the animals that lived there what they would need. Habitats have 4 important things that animals need: water, space, food, and shelter. Some animals live in the water, while others need water only for drinking. The space animals need to live depends on their size and how they act with others. Food and shelter are also unique to God's design for each animal. When God created the world, He made enough, but not too much, of every living thing. Food chains, which we've learned about before, are God's way of keeping each habitat balanced. A food chain begins with a plant. A small animal eats the plant. A predator eats the small animal for food, and we call that animal the predator's prey. See, it starts with a plant. Small animal eats the plant. Bigger animal eats the small animal. Even bigger animal eats the medium animal. And big animal eats this animal. If the predator has few enemies, we say that animal is at the top of the food chain, like a shark or a lion. Many times, though, a bigger predator continues the food chain. Without the food chain, our world would be overrun with animals. The ocean is a very big place to study animals. Did you know that the ocean covers about 70% of the earth? Scientists are still learning about all of the different kinds of animals that live in the ocean. There are as many as 1 million different kinds of animals in a variety of shapes, sizes, and colors. Whales and sharks are 2 of these kinds of animals. Have you ever been swimming in the ocean and tasted the water? How does it taste? Ocean water is salty. We call the ocean a saltwater habitat. The ponds, lakes, rivers, and streams you find on land, those aren't salty. We call them freshwater habitats. Most animals that live in saltwater habitats cannot live in freshwater habitats. And most animals that live in freshwater habitats cannot live in saltwater habitats. A whale could not live in a freshwater habitat. God has each creature living in the right habitat. Because of the ocean's size, very big animals have enough space to live. The largest animal in the world is the blue whale. Can you think of some reason that the blue whale needs the ocean as its habitat? That's right, because it's so big. Did you know that there are plants in the ocean? One of the biggest ocean plants is a seaweed called kelp. Kelp grows quickly and can get very tall. In fact, many creatures growing together are called kelp forests. Many creatures, including whales and sharks, use the kelp forest for food and protection from predators. Predators hunt other animals for food. 2 ocean predators are great white sharks and orcas. God equipped each animal with a certain design to be able to survive in his habitat. What equipment do you think makes the animals good predators? Do you think these predators are at the top or the bottom of the food chain? Let's look at these two pictures. What makes those good predators? Think about that. The blue whale depends on a very small creature called krill for food. Krill can be found in the colder parts of the ocean, so during the summer months, blue whales can be found feeding there. Most sharks depend on small fish for food too. Great white sharks eat larger prey, like sea lions and seals. In the cooler winter months, whales and sharks migrate to warmer waters to have babies. How do they know when to migrate or where to go? No one tells them. God gives them instinct. This is how animals know how to survive and to do the job He planned for them. He created a habitat that meets all of the needs for these animals. Animals of the pond. Now, a pond is much smaller than the ocean. There are still many animals that live in this habitat. Can you name a few? The beaver and the turtle are two animals that live in the pond. The pond is a freshwater habitat. The water does not taste salty like the ocean. The animals that live in the pond could not live in the ocean. God provided the perfect place for them to live. Is a beaver as large as a blue whale? No. God created each animal to fit within the habitat that it needs. A pond is much smaller than the ocean, but it provides just enough space for the beaver. The beaver has plenty of food in his pond habitat. A beaver's favorite food is the bark of trees, but he also eats berries, grass, and plants. The turtle is an important part of the food chain at the pond. Insects, tadpoles, fish, lizards, and even snakes are food that a turtle enjoys. How does a turtle keep the ponds balanced? Beavers build their homes in the middle of ponds for protection from predators. A beaver's home is called a lodge. The beaver built his lodge out of mud, stone, and branches. God gave the beaver instincts to know how to take good care of land and water. The beaver cuts down hundreds of trees and branches to build a dam across a stream. The dam makes a wide, deep pond. Wherever beavers build dams, the grass will become thick and green. The dam filters the water to make it cleaner. The soil around the dam is better for growing plants, and the beaver makes the pond habitat better. The beaver is called an animal engineer. An engineer builds things. God gave the beaver's body a special design. The beaver has webbed back feet like the feet of a duck. This makes him a very good swimmer. His front feet are paws that have sharp claws. These are used for digging mud and dragging tree branches. The beaver uses his sharp teeth like chisels to cut down trees. Okay, that is all we're going to read in our book today. So we learned about the pond habitat and the ocean habitat. Now in this book, we have a couple pages to do. First, we're going to do page 61. 61 looks like this, okay? So what we're going to do on this page is you're going to cut out the pictures and put them in the right spot in the food chain. So who eats who? Okay? So who is the biggest predator? I'll give you a hint. Number 1 in this big spot, that's the shark. And our last spot, number 5 right here, that's the plant. So think about who eats who and where they go. And you're going to cut out these pictures and glue them onto each spot. So pause right now and do that before you go on to your next page. Okay, now we're on this page. Okay, this is page 63. So it's right behind 61. So just flip one page over. Okay, and we learned about freshwater pond habitats and saltwater ocean habitats. So you are going to look at each animal and you are going to draw a line. Do they belong to the freshwater habitat or the saltwater habitat? So think about, is that animal in a pond or in the ocean? Okay, after you finish that and do the rest of your iPad work, you will be done for today.